Hey everybody, it's Dune. This is another episode of Factorio Megabase. Yesterday, there was three streams. One, my streaming software crashed, so the second one was only like 20 minutes long. Uh, we did several things. We, increased iron flow to this new iron plate facility. Kind of hard pressed to figure out exactly all that happened, but hey, it's on YouTube. Go check it out. We're running kind of low on supplies. We increased space science. Or I mean, increased science. We did increase space science. We actually have a new build of space science. But we increased all our science, and we are now consuming 3.3 thousand packs per minute. That's almost double. We were at 1.8, what we were at before. And it's just putting a demand on everything, and this is what you want. This is why you build a megabase, this is why you increase science. So you increase demand, which increases your need for supplies and more trains and more outposts and bigger outposts and more duplicate outposts. And, I've got now 3 iron smelting outposts, and this one in the south is hurting because it's not really keeping up. But we did do one in the north. It's freed up the demand from our previous north. This is now sitting at 190,000. It's doing just fine. In fact, so fine that I'm going to actually switch. We had taken one of the steel trains from the steel smelter, this guy, and sent it to the far northwest. So even though he's kind of on his way there now, wow, it's really kind of groovy the way he's going. I really like that, because that's right here. He comes out of the steel and he came straight up, and then he's going all the way across. That's so much better than this way. Kind of actually thought about putting a waypoint there to make sure he did that. And I kind of still might. Kind of like to make sure he goes that way. Well, but I'm actually going to put him back to the. Actually, if he's going to travel that way, this mining facility right in the middle of the base is kind of in a bad spot. I'm debating which way I want to do that, because he's traveling such a distance to get a small load. I mean, it's a full load, but it's, to go this far when he could go just this far. But as you can see, there's a number of trains waiting to go in, and, this is going into the iron mine, so is this one, and so is this one. So, they're coming in and they're making a kind of a difficult turn. All these chain signals are kind of holding them up. It would be better if I had another facility over here where those steel trains could go to. Right. Of course, it's another build to do, and right now this is supplying them. It's traffic and so forth. As you can see, there's a number of trains waiting to go different ways. Well, it's working. It's got supplies. We're going to leave that alone. I don't want to, I don't know if you ever heard the expression, don't fix it if it's not broken. Well, it's not broken. It's a fun traffic situation, but we've got a number of trains waiting, and if we had enough plate trains, then, maybe they would do better. This fluctuates. Sometimes there's none in the stacker, and sometimes there's a bunch. Ever since we added this new ore to steel build, I honestly think this is the better build. It does keep less trains flowing back and forth. You know, we just simply have ore coming in and steel coming out. I think that's a better process. You know, it's something you do in an early game is you do direct steel to. Let's see, I have a blueprint on that for early game. Whoops, I didn't mean to grab my whole book, but I'll pull it out for the moment. Yeah, oops. It's this. I'll pull it out. It's a little easier to see. You know, you have ore come in on the top, flow in, and it goes into one smelter that then is directly inserted to the next smelter, and then out steel in the middle. It's a pretty cool build because, you know, you have coal on the inside of the outside lane, and you have coal on the outside of the innermost two lanes, and then steel on the inner two, and then they kind of flow out the bottom and join together, and it's a pretty neat build. But that's what we do early game, and then for some reason I just stopped doing that, you know, on a later build. You know, through the Megabase up till now, and in fact, but I like it. I would do this differently if I were to do this again. Somebody once asked me what I would do differently, and this would be one of them. As I think I would go with a direct ore to steel build. That's definitely one thing I would do differently. And I'll probably build another one. I don't think I'll change this. Like I said, you know, don't fix it if it's not broken. It's, I would say, inefficient. Because we have more trains. You know, we actually have some iron plate trains that we could do without. We would have, you know, what is this? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 26 iron plate trains to supply this steel. And we have all those ore trains already going to this facility. If we just had them coming here, we'd save some traffic. Of course, some of those ore trains are from this direction, and you know, it might make more sense to have them come from over here. And in the future, we'll build that direction. We do want to look at, you know, how things are doing though. The 23,000 average here. I mean, we have a lot of ore trains. We can see that. But we don't have ones in every facility, even though their lights are green. You know, it means they're allowed to go in. It's just the way I have it set. Well, is what it tries to do is it always tries to go to the closest available unloading station. And as long as these are enabled, then they always try to go there. And the only time they're disabled is actually when a train is sitting there. I like my new situation. And you know what? I'm going to go do that. Let's just go switch over Southern Iron. You know, don't fix it. It's not broken. Well, it is somewhat broken. Because I feel like these iron ore trains could all be in these outposts, but they're not. So that's going to be the first thing on our agenda, is try to make this a little more efficient. That would be the same thing with this one. This one was actually built on the pattern on the south one. This one was recently redesigned. I used to have 5 in a column like I have in copper. And I switched it to 2x4. I think that's a little more efficient. It was definitely more efficient than 5 in a line. The bottom one would almost never get a train. 5 is just difficult for that, and you had to do a lot with disabling unload stations and all that kind of stuff, and it was a mess. We will work on some of that now. So one of the first things to do, At first I'm going to work on just the OR side of things. So, you know, all the controls for those are currently down at this light. And to start with, we will turn off the enable disable of the station as we change its circuit. We will grab kind of the circuit from here. Actually, this one doesn't have one. Alright, we will grab it from the load, from the iron plate. I'll have to look at that. And maybe do a little tweaking, because this is, you know, based on a lot of different things. And one thing we're going to have to be careful of is not to get run over. Alright, so we will remove that, stick that in there. Alright, so this is gradient going E. We actually have to stick another one in there. What station is this one? If one is greater than or equal to average, I'll put an E. And then we'll need one more thing. We will need, I don't have any constant combinators, so let's create one and then a couple stacks. Easier to create one and then do that. So we'll set E to -2 on this. -2. Oops, green wire. Because green is what's flowing out of this. And we need to connect the new combinator in there. Alright, so when the train stops, we change its number to negative, so that will disable the station. Then we take the quantity, it's not going to reach there. We need a power pole. Quantity from don't reach there. That might be enough. We want the quantity from. You know what? We don't need that. Well, that's a lot of bots flying around. All going all the way up there. Crazy. I can't see anything because of those bots. Look at that, it's crazy. Man, how many bots? That's like all 1,000 going up to this chest. Well, that chest has just got plundered. Plundered. You know what, we'll just use this, the signal value. So, that one and that. This green actually can come there for the color of the signal, train signal. And it's got the green signal. And this will, instead of being plate, will be signal 1. So if 1 is greater than M, we don't have M in there, so we're going to have to add the green line. So we have M, we have 1. So he's not outputting E. On if 1 is also greater than or equal to A, output an E. And then greater than or equal to 0. I think greater than or equal to 0. I thought I disabled the enable, I guess, when I pasted. Well, let's watch this. 16K and 17K, so we don't want it to enable itself until... Let's put a power pole on that so we can kind of watch what E is. So no E yet. 1 is greater than M, so output an E. And that's outputting an E, but E is 0 because we do a -2. So we change this to greater and equal to 0. We'll enable it. Yes. Okay. So E is -2. Is E -2. Because this is an OR train. We're not enabling an OR, we're enabling drop off. So we don't actually need this one. We're just if 1 is less than or equal to A. And we don't need this constant combinator then. So E is 1. And we don't do, we just want greater than 0. Okay. So if there's a train incoming, which there is, because we now have an input of yellow, we output an E. So in case this somehow changed on its less than being average, let's say the average dropped, but its quantity didn't. But we had a train incoming, it would, the station would stay enabled. And of course, now when a train's there, if we look at E, it's negative 4.9 million. Okay. So its conditioning should be the same as this down here, but now we can remove this. Something changed. Probably I disconnected. What does that wire go to? Close, read. The station must have changed. And it did. Because that's no longer yellow. One is less than A. 1 is less than A, so it finally did come in. Okay, A dropped, but that stopped being yellow as soon as the train crossed the line. So it didn't stay enabled. Probably because the value of 1 had changed. Or the value of A had changed, one of the two. So that can't be, it's fine for a loading station, but for a unloading station, yellow, I think we want not equal to green. I'll put an E. Okay. So if it's yellow or red, it'll output an E. But, because the train is stopped there, whoops. Why is that train flowing out? It's leaving, but it's got a no path. Because I removed that. Alright. So this is a little fun. This is fun. I think it's a little fun. But now we can, now this guy, when let's view our signal here, E0. 1 is greater than A, so it's not enabled. But we also want, if we have enough OR trains, which we do, to enable. So I guess we still need this, but we red and green on out. So if OR is greater than equal to N, I'll put an E. Okay, but we also need one more thing. We also need to add a train that's in the station to OR, because it gets counted as well. So if T is greater than 0, output 1 OR. Okay, so line red there. That and OR is green, so we need a green. Okay, that's one complicated setup, but it's not. I mean, you take each one individually. It's easy. If there's a train here, disable the train station, which it just did. But also output an OR. And so that's added to this value, to the OR value. And then 1 is less than A, output an E. And if the station light at this end, if this light down here, this rail signal, is not green, output an E. That means a train's either on the way or within the station somewhere. That's either pulling in, pulling out. And then this one, if the number of ORs in this is greater than equal to N, which is the total number of outposts, which is 8, then also output an E. And so if we have enough OR trains, we want all the stations to be enabled, except when a train is actually in that station. Whew. We could keep that power pole there, but we don't need it. It's just there so we can read the value. We are going to copy the entire OR setup. Copy down to there. We don't need the chests. We don't need the inserters. We don't need the provider chests because those actually aren't what we're counting. We don't need the roboports. But we need power poles here. We don't need that power pole. We just need the wires we're connected to, so we don't even technically need that power pole. And we probably don't even need the track, but we'll keep it for the moment. Okay. Now the rest of them should be pretty easy to set up. Move those, that. I kind of wish I'd keep that light there. I kind of like those lights, but I suppose it's something we could build into the system. That one. And we slap that down. And this should work. Since that pulls out, well, it depends on how many ore trains we have. We have 11, it's enabled. But we need to change the number. This is now a 2. 2. We wanted to control that light. We can institute that. I think it's kind of obvious, but in that light, even though, you know, that could be green or yellow, well, I'm not talking about, but I guess it would be just having the station light. And it's kind of fun to have. So what would we do? We would, it's too bad this is a green wire coming out, because I'd like to send red wire down. Well, we could add that green wire and we would just have the value of E on it as well. So E would fluctuate, but if E, and then we can do down here, because that green light's going to have a different value than, it's going to be these. This needs to have green coming. To there. And then this is if E is less than 0. Greater than 0 is what we want. And that's going to be coming from this green line. Which is wrong, because we have E. So we want, alright, so what's the colors? Colors is red if 2, green is 1. So this is less than or equal to 0. Less than or equal to 0 output of 1. Now, as soon as that train pulls in, because this light's yellow, as soon as it comes to a stop, that should turn red. Yes. Alright. It's fun. And so we're going to have to copy this again. Alright, and remove things again. I think we need that power pole now. Still don't think we need that one. Okay. So we can go place that over on this guy and add the light back to it. Also have to change this to a 1 since placed a circuit over it. Got changed to a 2. And that should be red. Groovy. So this will help routing, because when a station is disabled, it's not considered in the routing process, thoughts, whatever. So even though we're going to be putting those right back, I don't want their thoughts on the process considered. And we'll place this guy on it. Change that to a 3. Verify that's, yeah, 3, okay. And we'll put these guys back. And all's good. And we'll move on to the next one. This is 4. All right. So red. This is about to be red. Great. And now we got all this upside down. Station 8, yep. Okay, and this is station 8. Assuming I didn't break anything, I think this should be more efficient. Station 7. And really where the most efficiency will crop in is when there's not enough ore trains. Right. Till then. Station 6. I think it's an easier setup compared to everything I had before. I think it's better. Gotta walk down here. here, putting the light back in. I'm going to wait till I get these out before I cross that. Why don't you guys have any fuel? There's like no fuel anywhere. This has got fuel. In fact, it's so full, its chests are full. These are full. Because this chest is backwards. Or this, the inserter's backwards. Station 5, I believe. Yes. All right. That should be good. Kind of like to fix these guys as well. They're also controlled by the lights instead of enabling disabling themselves, which is slightly less inefficient. I think they should disable themselves. I'm going to name this or unload signals. Not just unload signals. Station signals. Let's change this. Whoops. We can do it. Station. Signal. I also do light. And we will add that to, oops. Okay, that's straight to here. Yep. Except I thought I named you. Station signals. What do I call it? Station unload signals. Unload station signals. Okay. That way it's not gone. And I can delete that. We shall delete that one. Well, what we can do we actually can't delete a blueprint unless it's actually got something. I'll grab that thing back. We will post. Guess we get rid of that. And we will post this down. It's not an exact match because the power. Yeah, it's not a match at all. It's unfortunate. But we can fix that. We'll just have to can use the some of it. Some's red. Yeah, the all this is wrong too. So we can just remove the track, all that. In this case, pretty sure we're not keeping track of plate. Actually, we are keeping track of plate. Yes, we are. Alright, so this will output a plate. It still disables the station. This is station 5. But it's going to be greater than or equal to EA, because this is a pickup station. E, and in this case, I'm pretty sure we don't do that. I mean, not there. And we're not checking to see if there's enough plate trains in the system to send one to every station, so we're not doing that one. And I just picked up a bot, back. But we did need, shoot, let's put that back. Equal to A, that output plate, but we're doing also 5 greater than or equal to M, output E. Now we actually need to connect those values because the poles and stuff are in the wrong place. Connect it right to that. And green to that. And then we're also outputting the green to the Powerball. So this is station 5. 5 is less than average. Average is 10K, 5 is 3K. But it's also less than M. So 5's got to be greater than or equal to M. This is where we need the combinator to drop E down. Typically -2. So he's -1 now. What changed? Because this is red. Why is that red? There's no train in here, so why is this red? It's because it's a close signal marked. So use -2. That if 5 becomes greater than M, that'll add an E. And if 5 is greater than average, that'll add an E. And then if the light's not green, it'll also add an E. And greater than 0, greater than equal to 0. So greater than equal to 0, but E is currently -1 because A is 12 and 5 is 17, and it should now be 0. Right, so this has to be greater than equal to 0 because that will still be red, even though it qualifies to have stuff come pick up. So we change it to greater than equal to 0. Now it's enabled. Now it should have a train on the way. Then we also want another one of these, but we want it for the lights. So we want the track. I don't want any of these things. I don't want any of these guys. I have to rewire everything. Oops, wrong one. That's what we want. Okay, so we want green from this to there. And that's connected, so that's right. And 5 is not enabled. Right, so that's red. I think we got it right. So now we need to connect. Grab all this. We need these curves. Or roboports. Or chess. Or inserters. These guys aren't connecting to it, even though they are part of the circuit network. That's not connected. Let's grab that and then see what else needs disabling. These guys, we don't need them. And we'll call this loading stations. So loading, that's a station signal and light once again. Okay, now we ought to be able to go around and fix these other ones. One thing I gotta make sure of if I have a dummy load station, and I do. Okay. Get rid of all these. Those. go down. Rename these to 6. And 7. So the advantage of this, like I said, is these are all red unless they have enough supplies. So you know 6 is greater than average in this case. It's not greater than M, and so it's still disabled. There's not enough for the train when it shows up to load up. In this case, it probably will send a train here. Don't really want to send a train here until it actually had enough. Station 8's relatively close, but it's not close enough. Oh well. Kind of surprised it didn't send a train there, but it didn't. Okay, now we're upside down again. Station 4. 3. Kind of like how I'm not having to recalculate it here. I just grab E off of that. Because here I'm like calculating it twice. The train's about to show up for this guy since it's really close to the entrance. Yeah, one was actually on its way. But he stopped. I actually should have had permissions to come in. Why am I stuck? Accommodator. Thought because if that light was yellow, it should have enabled them to come in. But not two of these were. At least one of these had to be enabled for it also to stay the station enabled. So okay, that's fine. Because once the train wouldn't show up, begin to come on its way until at least the station was greater than M, and it is now. So this should be green. Why isn't it green? One's greater than 17 and greater than A. That's enabled, but this light's showing red. Why? Not showing green. Weird. And well, let's watch this a little bit. This is enabled. That's lights on. I thought I just saw this one enabled. Maybe not. So this whole blinking thing, if that light turned yellow, it should stop that blinking. So no stations enabled at the moment. Maybe station 6 should, and it is. So this route's so much quicker because as soon as it's enabled, boom, didn't have to figure it out. It was the only one available. So these are fluctuating because the number of trains in the stacker sort of fluctuates. Because we're at a total of 8 out of 8. As long as it's equal to or greater than, then these will stay enabled as long as there's not a train in them. But as soon as one of these enable, this guy comes right on in. Because they're only enabled when they have enough supplies and there's not a train there. So this should have a train on the way. Station 4 is available. It's greater than 8, yeah. It's alright. And Station 8. That guy should go straight down to Station 8, yeah. So this is already doing better. Fixes fluctuating ores. Right now it's